Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a framework that pretty much flips everything we think we know about learning to drive. It's called the GDE Matrix, and it argues that what's going on inside your head is way more important than what your hands and feet are doing on the controls. So, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's start with a moment I'm sure we've all felt. You're at a busy hill start, there's a car right on your bumper, the pressure is on, and bam, the engine stalls. You know perfectly well how to use a clutch, so what just happened there? Well, the real reason is probably not what you think. All right, to really get to the bottom of that stalling problem, we need to unpack this really powerful model from the world of driver education. This model, the GDE Matrix, shows us that driving happens on 4 different levels. Now, your first thought when you stall is probably, I'm just not skilled enough. It feels like a simple lack of practice. But what the Matrix shows us is that the real cause is almost always something much, much deeper. So at the very foundation of the Matrix, you have level 1 vehicle control. This is the stuff we all think of first, right? The absolute basics: steering, braking, using the clutch. It's the pure physical skill of just operating the machine. Then, building right on top of that, you get level 2, mastering traffic. This is where you take all those physical skills from level 1 and start applying them out in the real world. Dealing with junctions, figuring out roundabouts, and just generally handling different traffic situations. And right here, this is where we run into a really big and, frankly, dangerous misunderstanding about what makes a good driver. You see, these first 2 levels, controlling the car and navigating traffic, they're the entire focus of most driving lessons and, more importantly, the driving test itself. I mean, it seems logical, right? Build the skills from the ground up. But by focusing only on these 2 things, we create a massive blind spot. And if you think about it, the basics of level 2 are so intuitive that even a 5-year-old at Legoland can do it. They can get in a little electric car with basically no instruction and figure out how to stop for a red light and go around a corner. The fundamental rules aren't that hard. This quote from instructor-trainer Lee Jowett just hits the nail on the head. The driving test has a huge flaw. It can see the effect, the fact that you stalled the car, but it has absolutely no way of knowing the cause. That little spike of panic that made your foot slip off the clutch? It's only looking at the surface. And the data? Well, it tells the same story. Research has found literally 0 statistical connection between taking advanced skills-based driving courses after you pass your test and getting into fewer accidents. Why? Because a simple lack of skill just isn't what's causing most crashes. So, if skill isn't the main problem, what is? Well, for that, we need to climb higher up the GDE matrix. Level 3 is all about the context of the journey. This has nothing to do with the road signs or the car itself. It's about the why behind your trip. Are you running late for an important interview? Are you driving with friends? Are you stressed out or excited? All of these things completely change how you behave behind the wheel. I mean, just think about it. You take the exact same person, in the exact same car, driving on the exact same road. On a Tuesday afternoon, taking their grandma to bingo, they drive one way. But on a Friday night, with a car full of their best friends, they can be a completely different driver. The context is everything. And if you want proof, the statistics are just startling. For a young driver, just adding 1 friend to the car doubles the risk of a crash. Put 3 or more friends in there, and the risk quadruples. That has 0 to do with their ability to steer the car and everything to do with the social context of that journey. And that finally brings us to the very top of the pyramid, the most powerful and, honestly, the most overlooked piece of the puzzle. Level 4. This quote just perfectly nails the idea of level 4. It's this crucial shift from just teaching mechanical skills to a person to instead teaching a whole, complex person with all their personality, their moods, their baggage, how to drive. A really simple way to picture this is something called the coaching cap model. It shows that our physical actions, that's the psychomotor stuff from level 1, they don't just happen. They are driven first by our thoughts, our cognitive state, and our feelings, our affective state. Your mind controls your body. So let's bring it all the way back to our stall at the beginning. The mistake wasn't a failure of your foot's skill, the psychomotor part. The real cause started with a thought, the cognitive part. Oh no, that car is way too close. That thought triggered a feeling, the affective part, panic. And that panic is what caused the physical mistake. It's a chain reaction from the inside out.
And once you really see that chain reaction, you start to realize that our whole traditional approach to driving might be completely upside down.
The real hierarchy of what controls your driving actually works from the top down. It starts with who you are as a person, your mood, your values at level 4. That is then influenced by the journey's context at level 3. That then dictates the choices you make in traffic at level 2, which finally determines how you physically control the car way down at level 1.
So the huge, crucial takeaway from the GDE matrix is this. Becoming a truly safe and competent driver isn't really about mastering the car. It's about understanding and learning to master the incredibly complex human being that's sitting behind the wheel. And you know, this whole inside-out idea, it goes so much farther than just driving a car. Think about sports, about public speaking, about any skill you perform under pressure. Which leaves us with a final thought. If getting a handle on your own inner world is the real key to becoming a better driver, what else could you completely master just by focusing not on the how, but on the who?